The Link Crew program is part of the Boomerang Project, which is a national organization that sponsors school-wide programs, activities. Link Crew is part of that. Link Crew is two things. It's a high school transitional program for incoming 9th or 10th graders, depending on the configuration of the high school. Some high schools are 9 through 12, and here at the high school is 10 through 12. So it's a high school transitional program that uses student leaders, juniors and seniors, to work with the incoming class. So at the high school here, it's 10th graders. So they literally will work with them in small groups at orientation to make them more comfortable before they come into the high school. They will teach them team building skills, getting to know each other's skills. Throughout the orientation, which is part of the first time they meet them, they become, in the end, more comfortable as they walk out of school and ready to start school. The second part of Link Crew program is it's a student leadership program. Link Crew, the coordinators, there's 3 people at our school that are trained to be coordinators, myself and 2 other teachers, Nicole Calzi and Rachel Fiskin. We went to a 3-day training that showed us how to implement Link Crew program at the high school. To the last activity that they teach them really is the bonding activity of the group, and then once that's over, they talk about the high school, and the 10th graders ask questions about the high school and things that they're concerned about. The Link leaders then go over a brief informational packet, and then what they do is they give them a tour of the high school, and the group has a theme. The students dress up in props, like we had a Hawaiian theme, we had Mardi Gras theme, we had sports teams themes, and the groups literally dress up and tour the building, having fun and celebrating.
So when I got to orientation that day, we all went to the cafeteria and we were all excited to see our friends. And then they told us to walk down to the gym. And as we were walking down, I was really nervous. But as the doors opened, you saw all the Link Crew leaders, and they were all in a line, screaming and yelling, making you feel more comfortable and happy to be there. And we went and got our name tags, and we sat in the bleachers as Mr. Barker gave us a little presentation about what we were going to be doing. And he got everybody involved, everybody got excited, and was really happy that they came to orientation. So after that, we went with our Link Crew leaders to a classroom and did activities to help us get to know what we're doing and got us more involved. In the classroom, we were working on activities and just for everybody to get to know each other a little more, because some of us, even though we're in the same grade, we don't really, talk to them. So we wrote down things to get to know each other more, and we would go around and tell what we wrote down in the papers. And then after that, the Link Crew leaders took us on a tour of the school and showed us the main hallways of where most of our classrooms would be, and the cafeteria, the library, the gym, just to get us more comfortable with the school for the first day of school. After I left the orientation, I felt that our class came together more. We got to interact with each other more. That made us feel more comfortable with going to school with each other. The benefit for me for having the Link Crew leader, it has helped me be more relaxed to come here, because on the first day of school I thought I was really nervous. I was coming into a bigger school, not knowing where I was going, having different people. Crew leaders has helped me, it relaxed me to come, and they told me that it wasn't as difficult as it seems. You'll know your way around the first couple days, you'll meet new people, so it has helped me in the long run.
We have 110 leaders representing grades 11 and 12. So that in itself is our leaders are now using their skills. They're practicing what they learned. And the first impact is with the 10th grade class. They had an opportunity at orientation to impact 1/3 of our student body. And when we talked about that, we could see the connection that the students were kind of getting at, like, we want our students to come in and feel better, be happier, be more comfortable. We want them to be treated special. So with the first class we're doing this with, that was one of the themes. Let's make them more comfortable and happier and want to be at the high school. Our leaders are in grades 11 and 12, and they can have an impact as they plan events in the school, how they carry themselves in the hallways, in their classrooms, when they promote Link Crew events for school-wide activities, and when they do it for the 10th graders. And the goal really is within 3 years, we'll have 3 10th grade classes that will come through that will experience that type of special orientation and program throughout the year, that we will create more leaders, Our leaders will be practicing their skills in the school, and our teachers and other students will see these things happening at this high school. With the 10th graders, they're being encouraged to take part in these clubs and activities and sporting events and musicals because they're having their peers ask them. It's face-to-face. It's through phone call reminders by their lockers, cafeteria, hallways. Now they have upperclassmen that are encouraging them to join, and they're telling them what school is all about.
I wanted to be a link leader because I know the mistakes that I made as a sophomore coming from the 9th grade academy to the high school. I was scared. I didn't know where my classes were. I didn't know any teachers. I didn't know anything about activities. I was scared to get into other people's territories and stuff because the clubs sounded exciting, but I was scared. I didn't really get involved in much as a sophomore, and I think now being a senior, you should get started as a sophomore. And I think that if us having experience, if we were to lead the sophomores, then they would know more. And plus we're students, so they can listen to us more. Because I know I probably wouldn't have listened to a teacher that would tell me to get in clubs and get involved and wanted to know about me personally.
After the application process, they had to commit to 5 mandatory dates, training dates, and the orientation throughout June and the summer months. And during the school year, they have to commit to 90% attendance at all Link Crew events, meetings, activities. So that is a big part of the program, is that these students, 110 of them, have committed to a full year program. So after orientation, the link leaders follow up with their students, their crew, as they're called, the first day of school. They meet with them by their lockers. And then throughout the school year, to maintain the connection, we have what are called academic follow-up lessons, where the link crew leaders are going to visit the 10th graders in their homerooms, and they're going to teach them lessons, 20, 30-minute lessons on things to be successful in school. Like the first lesson is going to be about limitations and commitment, and how do you overcome things that you put limitations on yourself. So the link leaders will teach, there's an example of a lesson, and they have 4 or 5 they'll do during the year. What they also do are called social follow-up lessons. Link leaders will have a team of link leaders in school, about 24 link leaders who are going to be in charge of planning social follow-up lessons or activities for the 10th graders. An example is for homecoming week, a social follow-up was the link leaders visiting their crew in the hallway and giving them an informational sheet about homecoming and encouraging them to dress up at spirit days, to attend the dance, the athletic events. So that's a social follow-up that's really easy to do.
As a leader later on in life, because I'm going to college next year, I may have to lead a group, or I may have to teach other students or other peers something. So when we have the activities, it wasn't just we're trying to engage the sophomores, we're trying to help them. We're helping ourselves too. And when we got to the last activity, I think that really made us leaders, because it's called Life Story, and it's kind of a personal activity. And it's kind of what our teachers do every day, but we had to do it too, because I know in my classrooms, my teachers are very personal, and we had to do the same thing. So it really helps us. Personally, I learned a lot, because I didn't even think I was that old. But as a senior, you're really different, because my link leader is a junior, and there's a lot of differences, but we're still friends. I had to call her for orientation, and I'm like, oh, okay, she's really interesting. And it helps you really, when you have a task, it helps you become friends with people, because I was really nervous about that too. And then once we followed up with our group, we become friends with them too, because we're all Rush-Henrietta students. We're gonna go through the same thing. I went through the same thing they're going through. I wish I had the Link Crew program. So it was the perfect program for me after we went through the training. And I'm glad I did it too, because it's fun.